Hi, Tanya.
Hello. Am I talking to
Debbie.
Debbie? Are you warm and safe and well?
I am, and yourself?
I'm not warm, as you can tell, and I'm safe and I'm semi-well.
Good. Well, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Yeah, it's freezing over here. Hello, Pietro. How you
Hello,
doing?
Pietro.
Good, good. Not so cold over here. You look beautiful and
Oh,
nice and warm.
I wish I could cover my ears as well. My nose is like an ice cube. It is just so cold. My hands can hardly type. Hello, Meta. I see you cold as well.
Hallo julle, dit is verskriklik koud. Hoe gaan dit by julle?
I just want to go like this because it's so
Dis
cold.
so koud
Wow.
nie. Ek het net 'n body warmertjie wat ek wil nie kouer kry nie, maar dit is 'n pragtige sonnige dag hier by ons.
Oh, go away.
Jammer. Kom bly by die see.
Okay,
yeah.
so we're live on YouTube and on Zoom. We've got 6 attendees. I'm not sure if you'd like me to promote them to panelists. Are you going to have an interactive session today?
I don't think so, Debbie, because, well, if they want to, they must just raise their hand. I've actually got 2 modules, as you know, combined, and we have to toggle between the languages, and then the time's very short for participation as well. But I think if they want to ask something, they must just raise their hand.
Great. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let you all get on with it. Enjoy your
Meta,
lecture.
Thank you. Meta, I'm going to ask you to play DJ with the chats.
Dis reg, ek maak so. Tanya, ek gaan dalk net vir 'n oomblik wegglip. Ek moet net gou-gou 'n oproep antwoord, maar ek sal die chats vir ons doen.
Reg so. Dankie baie. Weet julle mense, ek is al so gewoond om julle in Engels te groet. Ons vergeet baie keer ons het 'n Afrikaanse modelle beet. So as ek daarom net groet in Afrikaans. Goeiemôre. En ek sien Michelle het ons laat weet dit is baie koud in Durban. Of dit is koud in Durban. Ek weet nie of hulle koud, ons baie koud is nie. So baie welkom hier. Ek is eintlik nogal verras om 'n paar mense te sien want ek is gewoond wanneer ons nie lockdown het nie, is ek gewoond daaraan dat die laaste dag van 'n kwartaal of so dan begin die mense so 'n bietjie skaars raak. Maar daar is darem 'n paar mense wat ons klas bywoon, so welkom hier. Guys, I just want to mention that I cannot, like you are used to, go to ECI this morning. It's still related to the fact that I had a recent robbery of my computer and of course my documents as well. I do, however, have Unit 2, Lecture 3's notes from last year, which I had to retrieve from ECI, long story. But it is not in a PDF, not in a PowerPoint format because I couldn't retrieve it like that. So I'm going to work through this whole lesson in a PDF document. So it will look slightly different, but it's the best I could do under trying circumstances. I hope that's all right for you. For this specific kind of lesson, it doesn't matter all that much because the content is, we're going to talk a lot about the CAPS document and so forth. So it won't worry us so much. I hope that we can fix it up before we have another meeting. Do we have any questions so far? Unit 2, Lecture 3. Sorry guys, I've got a slight calamity as well. Hopefully I am going to make it. Now, let me just see, there's a question. The question about the books in the library before the lockdown, it was, I think, 2-3 lessons back. We were told by the HOD, Tanya Dupria, that it's her birthday today, by the way, that it's okay to use that if you have used it, if you were busy with that prior to the lockdown. If you were not busy with it already, you can, it's preferable that you use the 2 online books, one of the 2 that's in the guidelines for assignment 2. Meta, did you want to say something? Okay, Meta's not here now. Okay, guys, I'm going to open up to, I will toggle between the two of them, between two PDF documents. And it is, we're carrying on with language readiness in an additional language, or then taalgereedheid in 'n addisionele taal. And at least 80%, make it 75 to 80% of the theoretical content or theory content for both AFAF and AFAI, foundation and intermediate. It's similar. It's only when we have to do the applications in terms of grade level that there will be a slight difference. So then I will toggle between the two sets of notes. Other than that, the information is more or less the same. So let me open now. The intermediate people must not feel that I am leaving them out in the cold. I will go back to your notes as well. I'm first going to open the set of notes. Remember, it's last year's notes. I cannot, in the way that I had to retrieve the notes, I could not.
I can hear you.
Sorry?
Switch the video off because otherwise I've got to like hold it up.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Okay, so sorry guys, maybe we must just get back to it.
my legs.
Dad, there's a very tall building behind you.
That's where it is.
I know, it's beautiful.
Debbie?
Well,
Debbie?
Like now, because what I can do is I can put the phone in the back and I can multitask. Like,
Guys, okay, while they're having their conversation,
That's
I'm going to
easier.
open.
Yeah, good. Unfortunately, it's grant day,
Fine.
so all these people are waiting for their SACWA
Debbie,
grants.
Can I contact Debbie?
And I mean, I just walked in and I said, look, I've got a parcel to collect. Luckily, I had a slip on me.
Students, just
Otherwise,
hang
there
in
would
for a
have been
moment. We're
riots.
going to sort this out now.
But I just felt so guilty rocking up there in my car,
hello.
getting
Debbie,
out to fetch a parcel, and then there's like probably about,
Debbie.
Hello.
just hang on, I just want to see if they're calling me.
Debbie,
Yes, sorry, Debbie, you're not on mute, and we can't carry on with the lesson like that. So maybe just on a mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No problem. We had a good
Okay,
talk.
I'm on mute.
Okay. Oh, goodness. All right. Here I am with the PDF documents for AFAF. I will toggle to, you can see it's a long set of notes. This one's got 36 pages in PDF format, and the one for intermediate has, I think, 41, 42 pages. So it's quite a lot, but it's not so much to take in. It's more examples and games and so forth. So I'm going to quickly run through this, but before I do that, I want to give you the background that you know what we're going to look at. When we are, the outcomes in this lecture 3 that we're dealing with is the outcomes for language readiness in an additional language, which would be, in the case of foundation phase, extend the vocabulary, number 1, around a theme, number 2, those are the important words, vocabulary, around a specific theme, and then we do it in a specific way with the help of either rhymes, poems, games, activities, and so forth. Excuse me. And those rhymes, poems, and so forth that we use is there to enhance the additional language skills required for a specific grade. Will be from grade R to grade 3, and you will find the themes, applicable themes or prescribed themes in your CAPS document. Now, before I'm going to the whole list of, well, maybe I should quickly mention, the outcomes in 4 stages will be luister en praat, listening and speaking, lees en klanke, reading and phonics, writing, skryfwerk, of taalstrukture en conventies, that's your language structures and conventions. Now, exactly that same little summary we have for intermediate phase, whereas the to extend the vocabulary around themes will be based for grade 4 on 4 to 6. Again, under life skills in the CAPS document, using again rhymes, poems, games, activities, and so forth. And so we're going to look at how, first of all, the kind of themes that we can find in the CAPS document, and how you're going to go about the to develop a vocabulary. Because obviously when you are acquiring a new language, that is one of the problems, challenges, to have enough new words that you can use with meaning in expressing yourself either in talking or speaking or in writing or in reading and so forth. So that's the gist of it in this lecture. And I just want you to remember that even if we have a lot of so-called slides, all of that is just based on what I have mentioned to you now. In the event of the foundation phase application, we're going to look at a theme like seasons and the weather and a little bit about family. And then in the case of intermediate, we will focus on family, but with the further component of emotions, because they are a bit older, they can express themselves in emotions. It needn't be these themes only, it's only what's used for this specific lesson. And what is important here is that, sorry, I'm still giggling about what happened now. That you must just be able to navigate your way through the CAPS document for the particular grade that you are looking for information for. And whatever the theme is, follow the same method that I'm going to demonstrate or talk you through now. Any questions before I fire away with the lesson?
Hi Tanya.
Yes.
Ja, ons het 3. Ek wil net bevestig, kan ons die boeke wat in ons biblioteek gekry het voor lockdown gebruik vir ons tweede assignment en dis 'n ja.
Okay. That one I've dealt with.
O, okay, skus. En dan kan ons vra as ons met online lesse nog aangaan volgende semester, is daar 'n kans dat ons asseblief AFAF en AFAI verskillende lectures doen sodat daar is meer tyd om net op een te fokus. Dis net 'n vraag.
Can I quickly give you my 2 pennies on that?
Yes,
sorry, I'm going to interrupt. I just want to say, guys, I will not be in a position to call to make a call on that. The combination of classes was made actually prior to lockdown for reasons that were valid then, and then during lockdown it made sense. But I do see your point, because it is a problem to get through everything, especially if we have to translate. We will give this information or the comments through to the HOD. There will be a new lecturer as well joining tomorrow. And I think the HOD and the team for Afrikaans will maybe make a ruling on this and get back to you on that.
Yes.
Yes, Meta?
Dankie Tanya. Okay, so daai vraag is beantwoord. Dan confirmation of assignment due date. I attended a lecture where it was mentioned that our break starting tomorrow ends only in August. So I was wondering if the due date of 27th of July has changed at all or not.
Very valid observation. I can also put that to the HOD. Again, I think that will not be for me to decide. Although, guys, why I'm saying not for me to decide, at this point, technically, I'm still the MC for the subject. It's a possibility that that could change in the next week or so, especially because we have new staff coming on. And that's why I don't want to have a final say. I think we've a couple of people together should decide about that. And normally the MC and or the HOD are the people to make a ruling on dates. So it is possible, and it's a very valid question. So as soon as we have an answer on that, we will get back to you on that one.
Okay, and then a final question, thank you Tanya, is, sorry I joined a little late, maybe I missed the announcement, but when will eenheid 1 lesing 8 be available on ECI?
Same answer. I was busy with that, and guys, I don't want to use this every time, but this is the actual truth. There's no other fancy answer. My stuff got stolen. And I do have a PDF format of that, but I want to edit that, and I cannot edit from stuff that I downloaded from ECI. I first need technical help to be able to get into that to give you the information that is now valid. Yeah, I cannot answer for that, hopefully this week still, please.
Okay, en dan is hier nou nog 'n vraag. If you are not on MC anymore, who can we contact at Musgrave campus? If it still do not have a lecturer, but you also answered that question now.
I
The
have
new
answered, yeah.
is starting tomorrow, although it's recess. But you are more than welcome to contact me, metafear@embry.ac.za. I will forward your emails or questions to the relevant lecturer. So please don't be scared or uncertain of who to contact. I'm always there. You're more than welcome to contact me, and I will forward it to the relevant persons.
Okay, guys, if there are any more questions, don't be scared. Send us more. I'm going to now carry on with what we have in front of us. What you have here is what I've mentioned already. Oh my goodness. I haven't shared screen. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. Can somebody just confirm that I can see what is on my screen? Okay, thank you. All right, what we have in front of us here is the PDF version of the PowerPoint. It's last year's, it's not mine. There might be a little icky here and there. I couldn't tweak it in the format that it is, but at least we have it in front of us. This is the summary of what I've already mentioned, what we want to do. We want to extend the vocabulary around specific themes from the life skills curriculum in CAPS, and we're going to make use of rhymes, poems, games, and activities. CAPS document, maybe you want to just, yeah, you already know that one. The themes, it's just a question here. The themes that will be relevant for the specific grade you will find pertaining to the grade in the CAPS document, but that does not stop you from, in addition to that, maybe entertain other themes in class context as well, but the ones that are prescribed and the guidelines that you should be able to tick off will be found in the CAPS document. Then we're going to look, this is still foundation phase, we're going to fly through a theme like my family. And then I want to mention to you, people who perhaps don't know this, that in Afrikaans, we have the word gesin, which normally refers to a family that's a nuclear family, where it's very difficult to go about this because not all families are the same, but it's normally a mother and a father and the siblings in that family. And then when we use the word familie in Afrikaans, that is, it can include a gesin, but it's normally a bit wider than mum and dad and children. It normally includes oma, gogo, auntie, uncle, and so forth. It's not a hard and fast but we do have the two different words in Afrikaans for those who perhaps don't know that. Okay, so this is for the family. So then we normally have, when we're talking about listening and speaking, we have a short little summary on the family or the gesin. You can see both words being used there because it's a lower grade. Then we have what we can use as little cartoons or drawings and so forth for people to see what they are hearing when you are telling them about something. And then you have, you can have more than that. I just want to quickly show you the time. This is now for grade 3, grade 2, grade 1. I'm not going to go through all of this. This is really just a GPS or a map for a teacher or to look at how much time you should allocate for certain activities in the class. And I think you already know that. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. All right. These are suggestions of even things that you can use in your TP when you get to that next year. Is that when you are doing listening and speaking, and in the beginning you can just maybe tell them or read to them and ask them questions to see if they're actually understood. You can give opportunity to get a personal account for our families. Just be careful when you ask that, because sometimes it's difficult for children to talk about families at home. We don't all have the same situation at home. So if somebody is not willing to be careful, be mindful of that rather. yeah, I think this is logical. I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. What is very important when you do class activities is that you can also, they must also try to remember the chronological order, or the correct order then, what happened first, second, third, and so forth. So you can, for example, have a short little story and maybe cut it up in phases. The first part is this and this happened, second part that, blah, and then you maybe shuffle it all in a different order, and then they have to put it back in the correct order. It's just one example of what you can do to see if they understood the story. I have to be a bit quick now because we have to do the intermediate as well. When it comes to the reading and phonics, you will be guided by whatever is expected or what is required for a specific grade in the CAPS document. And then you can, for example, look at words and make sure, because we are extending the vocabulary, look at words that might be new to them, make sure that they understand them, help them to find the meanings of words, and so that they perhaps, you know, good ideas maybe to check if you have other mother languages in the class, if you can ask them what is the word in their language for a specific new word. And they have to know how to klank dit uit. So bijvoorbeeld k, a, t, to do that sounding out of the words. Because you can't just give them a new word for the meaning. They have to know how to use it and how to om dit te klank en hoe om dit te gebruik at this level. Sorry guys, Vera, I'm busy at the moment. I can't see if there are any questions or so. So I'm a bit nervous that there might be questions. If there's anything, please just speak up that I can hear you, because I can't see now. Engrossed here in the document. Yes.
Daar is nog nie vrae nie. Daar was net 'n vraag gewees oor om wanneer ons terug gaan kampus toe, maar ek het al reeds beantwoord. So moenie bekommer nie.
Bye, dankie. Petri, if you want to mention anything or whatever, please feel free. I'm not, I can't see if you want to be part of the discussion. So if you want to just chime in. You can also check with the illustrations and so forth, maybe ask the little learners to predict what they think. If you maybe before the time give them an idea, we're going to talk about our family now. And you can maybe prompt them and see, predict, give them pictures and ask them what they think is going to happen. What do they think it means? What do they think it refers to, and so forth. And even if they're wrong, it encourages them to talk and to engage in the conversation, and to maybe begin to understand the context of a theme. What do we normally get within a theme, and so forth. I'm sure that if you talk about a family in a big class, the children are at that age, I think, very confident to participate, even if they don't know the meanings, they're going to shout it out and be part of the discussion. It's only when they're older, when I think you have to push them a bit to get the participation. And then feelings that go with, you know, that they can, in basic additional language terms, express themselves about how they feel, positive, negative, and so forth. This is all part of a vocabulary extension or development. Okay, so if we look at, this was just an example. If we look at a theme like my family, we can look at that little, I think it's 5 back. I will quickly read it. Cannot entertain that for too long. We won't get through this. There we go. If we have to look at that, hierdie is ons huis. This is our house or home. Ons bly nou al vir 5 jaar lank in Durban. We have been living in Durban for 5 years now. As jy die voordeur oopmaak, when you open the front door, staan ma, pa, broer, suster en ek daar. When you open the front door, mum, dad, brother, sister, and I will be there. Ma en pa is die beste ouers ooit. Mum and dad are the best parents ever. Broer hou daarvan om sokker te speel. Brother likes to play soccer. Sister se gunsteling kleur is pink. Sister's favorite color is pink. Ek geniet dit om met my maats te kuier. I enjoy to play with my friends or mates. I don't know what you call them at that age. Buddies. Ouma en oupa is altyd gelukkig om ons te sien en hulle kuier gereeld by ons huis. Grandmom and dad are always happy to see us and they like to visit us regularly or often. Daar's 'n nuwe baba in die gesin, there's a new baby in the family. En die baba huil baie gedurende die aand. The baby cries a lot at night. Ons is 'n baie gelukkige gesin. We're a very happy family. Now that's a very condensed, almost like short little simple sentence piece. But in this piece, you will definitely then identify new words that they don't know, so that empowers them or enable them to talk in an informed way about their families as they acquire new words in the additional language. And then obviously, if we carry on further, guys, I'm not even halfway. You can start looking at synonyms and so forth. I'm just going to swap over to, at this point, before we carry on with reading and phonics, I'm going to swap over to intermediate to compare. In the beginning, everything is the same. Themes will be for grade 4 to 6. And in this case, for example, there will be a theme on emotions pertaining to family life. And then we also have a picture where you can ask them what they see, perhaps about the emotions, if they see various emotions and happiness or maybe frustration or glee or whatever it is that you can see on the picture. You can get better pictures than this one. Then very interesting, this one, the emoticons that we use as we get on social media and so forth. But it's a very handy little tool to make sure that they know if they recognize the emotion, first of all, if they can call it or give it a name in the additional language. And it's obvious that there can be more than one word pertaining to a specific emotion. But this serves as an example of how you can go about this, because it is also part of expressing yourself. If you can say, teacher, I am surprised. Juffrou, ek is verras. Or I'm shocked, ek is geskok, I'm sad, whatever. So that you can't just say I feel bad or nice. You must have a specific word for it, so you can work on the vocabulary of emotions there. It's a bit more developed than at the lower grades. Petra, you look as if you want to say something. Not yet. The emotion there is no. I don't.
I'm just repositioning myself on my chair. That's all. Sit regop.
Okay, and Meta, you look smug. So I don't know what we're going to call that in Afrikaans. Okay. All right. As you can see, this one on family. Pardon?
Knus.
Yeah, knus. My donkey. That's a very nice word, by the way, guys. Smug could be translated, I think, in more than one way. But knus is a word of saying like this. Oh, you sit there and you have like a cat that's just had cream and you just feel good. You're all tucked in nicely and you're very happy and content. And with that word, we spell K-N-U-S, knus. So there's a new word for you. All right, I'm going to quickly run through this one in comparison to the other. Ons familie woon nou al vir 5 jaar in Durban. So you can see that the sentences become a bit longer than the very chopped up simple sentences of the lower grades. There are more syntax, I'll find continuity, I'll find the word now. Ons het eers in Johannesburg gewoon. Eers is maybe a word that is important for them, it means before. Ek hou van Durban, maar. So maar is a conjunction that it has something compared to another or versus another. It's a development. Ek hou van Durban, maar ek mis my vriende in Johannesburg. Dit maak my ongelukkig. So there's an emotion. Ek woon saam met my ma, pa, broer en suster. Ma en pa is die beste ouers ooit. That is similar to the other one. Hulle, that's reference to ma en pa. Laat my na baie partytjies gaan. Now that's very clearly not grade art 3. But die partytjies maak my opgewonde. So that is an emotional word. Broer hou daarvan om sokker te speel, hou daarvan, he likes to. Maar, again, one thing versus the other. Hy hou nie daarvan, doesn't like it, om vir my ook Ook is another word, also as well, to 'n beurt te gee nie. So julle kan sien hier begin ontwikkeling van gedagtegang om myself uit te druk. The words are a bit more than just emotion. There are little words that give away somebody's opinion. They're beginning to develop that. Dit laat my teleurgestel voel. That's a big word. It leaves me very disappointed. En dit maak ma knorrig. Now that's a very grand word in Afrikaans. If you can use that and you can use it correctly, you've come a long way. Knorrig is grumpy. I don't know why the mother must always be grumpy, but there you go. Sister se gunsteling kleur is pink. Sy is spesiaal, she is special, en vertel goeie grappe. She likes to tell kind of good jokes. Dit maak ons lekker laf. That makes us all silly and jovial. Not really jovial, but in the we can share a joke. Ouma en oupa is altyd gelukkig om ons te sien. They're always happy to see us. En hulle kuier gereeld by ons huis. Gereeld is ook 'n goeie woord. Often or often, we don't all say it the same, or regularly in a different sense, different context. These are words that begin to give people, it helps them to give more complete expression of things. Hulle is nie skaam nie. They're not shy. Daar's 'n nuwe baba in ons gesin. Ons is 'n baie gelukkige gesin. Now it's not just gelukkig, baie gelukkig, maar ons kan soms nuuskierig wees. We can be quite curious sometimes. That's a weird word for a family. But anyway, there you go. We like to investigate things, I suppose. All right. So you can see this is a little bit more advanced. We will look at the language structures and conventions in a moment, and now we are on the same level, I think, that where we were with the other one. Now, I will quickly carry on, losing myself here. If you have to ask questions based on the story that you either read to them or told, that is one way to check for comprehension. If they could pick up something in the story and ask valid questions on that. Very often, if you do that, you can pick up if somebody really listened or not. You again give them the thing of sequence or the correct order. They must be able to identify characters, give a very simple personal account, and then very important in this case, because it's a theme, is the expression of feelings. So I think if somebody can begin to explain or express themselves in terms of how they feel and view things, and they make sense about it, then they have definitely shown progression in terms of acquiring new vocabulary. Okay. Here is a page of how you can plot out your lesson plans in the CAPS document based on this. If you look in the first one, it will discuss what is important for listening and speaking when it's an oral. Then we'll look at reading and looking. I think this is wat hulle hom in Engels noem. Hoe om dit te doen. I really cannot go through everything now. Writing and presentation. As hulle nou iets gehoor het of hulle moet dit kom weergee, hoe jy daardeur al die stappies wat jy kan aftik om te hou by wat vir hulle vereis word. And then when we eventually, once we've gone through this whole thing of hearing content, listening and speaking, and then beginning to write, if you can start having, say for example, you pick words from the text, and now you say, guys, now we're going to look at opposites, for example, and synonyms, big words, or we're going to look at correct spelling, we're going to perhaps look at alphabetical order and so forth. Then you use that new range of words to work on the structures of language, of spelling and whatever's required for that level. Do we have questions at this stage before I carry on? Yes, Meta? No? Like that. Okay. Very important, guys. It's what you use today still. When you write any essay or you have to answer something in a test, you will still hear what are the words called wie, waar, hoe lank, wanneer, waarmee, and so forth. Maybe you don't have all the words at this level, but the vraagwoorde, the words that you use to ask questions, to see if they understood everything, to see if there's logic, if they can follow things, you use the words the question words. Even at this stage of being a pastor, being second here, if you get, for example, to analyze anything, even in history or any other subject, you ask yourself the questions who, where, and whatever else question would seem to be logical. Same thing when you're doing Stompie. The first thing you're going to do when you analyze a sentence is, here we have the verb, which is the heart or the crux of the sentence. Who is performing the action? To whom or what? Those kind of questions, words are always important because those are the pointers to check if there is comprehension. Any questions so far? And time-wise, what have we got left?
Ons het 5 minute oor, 4 minute, maar ek sien ons het 'n vraag oor,
Yes.
sal julle ons laat weet oor die due date voor julle afgaan vir die breek?
Ek gaan nie af vir die breek nie.
Nee.
Guys, you think we're going away for the break. We are just kamakastig away. We are always involved still. I will not leave you hanging there. I will check on the date with the HOD. And if I cannot get access to ECI, somebody on my behalf will have to change it if they agree on it. We will definitely communicate it to you. We understand that you have to plan, that your time management is important. Okay. Are you happy with that feedback? Can I carry on?
Ja,
Yes?
dis
Is it okay? All right. If what you see here, guys, is that same little story that I quickly read to you, Nana, about the family, where they break it up in stages, and then you have your flashcards, and you can, for example, shuffle it and ask them to place it in the correct order. It doesn't have to be this. You can do something else. But this is an example of how you can check if they could follow the story, what was first, second, and third. It's memory testing as well as understanding of sequence of what follows after the one after the other. Okay, and then those are just the answers of the sentences. Okay, and the characters. Now, I think what is important here is that apart from remembering the characters and pointing them out, if you had something like that picture, you can maybe pick up something about their being, the character. That is why we have here describe their feelings and so forth, that you could maybe derive from the essay or from the picture or both. I'm sure that some examples of what you can use in this case are more, you can maybe glean more from it than others. That also depends on how you're going to read it. If you read it with an enthusiastic voice and you sort of, there's more embedded information there where they can pick up, you think that uncle is maybe grumpy or mum is grumpy and so forth. The way that you read it and that you load it with emotion, you cannot just read it monotone like a computer. You have to also, they must hear the emotion. So that way you are adding that they will never forget, this is what that word means, because a word is not just what is written on paper, it's also how you use it and tone of voice and so forth, especially when it comes to emotion. Yes, maybe then you want to be brave and ask them to each one tell in Afrikaans or whatever is the additional language, in this case Afrikaans, to tell that in Afrikaans, maybe 3 things, 2 things, 1 thing, depending on their families, to see if they can construct their own sentences on something that they know. We all hopefully have families, so that the content is not strange. It's maybe just to express what they want to tell in a new language and ask them, come guys, in Afrikaans, tell me 3 things about your family at home. And they're not allowed to copy one another. So the idea there is for them to think about what they want to say and also to learn from what the others in the class are using and maybe from what they've gathered from the piece that you've read in that class. I'm so tired now. Yes.
Ons tyd is op. Excuse.
Okay, no, I just want to check. I think we're more or less, yes, exactly. Wow, We've done both up until this level of reading and looking. So then we can carry on with that next time. I'm sorry that I have to rush you quickly, but otherwise I don't get through it. And we will then communicate the information on ECI and complete this one next time. Any other questions? Quickly ask before our time's done.
Ek sien hier is ons nog glad nie vra nie. So dit lyk vir my heel okay.
In the meanwhile, quickly, for those who, if you have spare time in your break, start reading hoe om jou draak te tem. Drakonees, hoe om drakonees te praat. Begin dit maar te lees. Iemand vir wie ek addisionele klas getrek al by hoofstuk 18. Wat sy vir eie deurwerk. So don't leave that until the very last moment.
Ek stem saam, dis 'n goeie stukkie raad definitief. En ek sien Kyla sê baie dankie. So dankie dat julle ingeskakel het studente. Julle moet lekker rus.
Ja,
Dankie Tanya en dankie Peter.
goed, dankie.
And
Dankie Pietru.
I must apologize about my call.
No, you gave us a good chuckle.
And I've got 3 screens, so I was not looking at the laptop screen, and then I could see out the corner of my eye, everybody's waving, and I'm like, what's going on?
We were just warming up.
Yeah. It was my friend from Singapore, otherwise I wouldn't have answered.
Oh, Debbie, it's all right. At least it wasn't your bank manager or something.
God, I'm blushing so badly. Anyway, ladies, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Have a lovely afternoon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.